good morning, or whatever time of day it is when my YouTube subscribers or others out there are watching this video. What I wanted to talk about in Cafe Cat Clatch with Kat today is retirement, and a view and a perspective in life. And I always say, one of my quotes that I made is, you can grow older without growing old, and how important it is to keep that kid inside you, that youth, that zest, that spirit, that joy, that adventure, just the freedom of possibilities and abundance and a jump in your step, kind of like Tigger, right? That embracing the youth inside. We have a spirit inside this aging body, that if we can embrace our youth and still be mature and responsible, but not old. So, my son, Zach, he sent me a picture today. I went and visited him a few months ago up in Oregon State, and I visited both my boys, and my son Zach and I were able to have some one-on-one time together after a morning where I dropped him off for a meeting he had at work. And when I picked him up, we went to Enchanted Forest in Oregon. It's in Salem, Oregon, I believe is the town. And it was really cool because the history of Enchanted Forest is there was this man who he and his wife moved to Oregon. I can't remember if he already had a couple kids. He had a very responsible job, but what he wanted to do, it's kind of like a mini Disneyland, a mini fairy tale park, where he had this view of making these wonderful miniature creations from the storybooks and having them come to life. It's wonderful. So it was my first time up there in Enchanted Forest. And the history also said that people thought, well, he told his wife, like, he wanted to do this. He had this dream, and she said she'd support his dream as long as he also kept his day job. So on the side, when he could, he built this. And people used to call him, the crazy man on the hill, right? The guy that's tinkering up on the hill, the guy that's crazy. And this is just to support people's dreams. Like, no matter what other people think of you, who cares, right? If it's your dream and if it's not hurting anybody and it's breathing life in your spirit, go for it, right? Pray about it, of course. If the Holy Spirit convicts you not to do something, then of course don't. But otherwise, go for it. So this man built his dream of what he wanted to do, of making like this mini little Disneyland. And he's now in his 90s. And even though he's retired, he still works on keeping up and tinkering and repairing Enchanted. I think it's garden or forest. It's one of those two names. It's Enchanted Forest or Garden. Anyways, you can look it up. It's in Salem, Oregon. So my son was driving this morning up in Oregon, and he shot me a text saying, "Hey, Mom, thinking of you. I just passed the Enchanted Garden." And it warmed and it touched my heart. Those of us who are empty nesters, especially if we have children that live far away, just even the little moments of hearing from a child or your children, and for him to have, we had that special memory together, and it touched me, and it also reminded me about the perspective of what I've been saying. You can grow older without growing old. And when I was a seminarian, one of my professors, he had this view and this perspective for himself on his life that he would never retire. Like, he never, ever saw himself retiring. And I think, and that's great if someone doesn't want to retire. One day, yes, I want to retire. But I hope to do other things like see the world and travel and maybe try different things I've never done, and taking classes that I've not been able to take. Like pre-pandemic, I was in line dancing and I did a Japanese floral art arrangement class, and to do stuff like that, maybe learn an instrument. But the point is retirement can be different things for different people. And whether you choose to never retire or to retire and do different things, keep just that child inside of you alive. And if you feel that child's gone, he or she isn't, of course, because we were all kids once, but just reemerge and embrace and hug that child and let that spirit of possibility and adventure and freedom and joy and optimism emerge. And thinking that, wow, so many things are possible. Taking the limits off, taking the chains off, breaking the boundaries that mankind has set on us, and having things be possible that we thought weren't possible. It's not like, when we get older, we can be things that we maybe hoped we could be when we were younger, right? Because we're older and our body's aged and it has limitations. But the mind and the vision of dreaming and possibilities and taking the lid off the box and coloring outside the lines, and just that youth, that view, that attitude, it helps, I think, also keep us physically healthy. It helps us not be locked and stuck and in the rut of the mundane. And it's so important to keep just passion in life and joy. It's important to embrace. So, and I know for some people, embracing and going to the child within can be hard because of childhood trauma. I love my parents. We've had a lot of healing. I had a very difficult upbringing for a variety of situations, but so did a lot of people, right? So I'm not like, woe is me, and everybody has their violin story. But what I'm saying is, I know when people try to embrace their inner child, they also might have to do some healing and some work. I understand that. But the main thing is to fly. Just learn how to let your spirit soar and learn how to let it fly and do things for yourself that bring you joy. Age is just a number. And wrinkles are on the skin, right? Liver, freckles and all that stuff emerge. Liver spots, they're different than freckles, actually. But just his text of doing that really touched me. And I remembered the man's story and how he's in his 90s and retired, but still doing and achieving something of his dream, and bridging that with that seminarian professor I had years ago that said he would never retire, never saw himself retiring. And I guess we can put a different definition on it. Maybe it's that we never stop living, doing, being, learning, growing, forgiving, loving, right? Okay, YouTube fam and friends, that's my coffee clutch. And now I'm going to go drink my organic coffee. Check it out. And God bless.